Run steep, get high. Run flat, stay low. Run the mountain, run the road. Run past the 8-stand to the commode. Oh, run steep, get high. Run flat, stay low. One stream, two guys. Mountain Outpost. Now here's your host.
Hey, hello, good evening. Welcome to the Black Canyon Ultras 100K preview show on the Mountain Outpost podcast, episode 42. I'm your co-host, JMJM Jamel Curry, here with Skizzlefresh Skylar Hall. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. High energy.
Yeah,
I rallied hard. Rallied hard for that one.
Dude, here's the thing. Like, the hay is in the barn. You know, people are excited. People are ready to go toe the line Saturday morning. They're ready to rip it, try to get that top three, get that golden ticket. And we're here to walk the people through all the happenings that will come. It will be great. It will be fantastic. We're going to crush it, just like the folks are on Saturday, and then the folks who are doing the 60K on Sunday as well.
Super Bowl Sunday. Yep.
Double dipping. It's gonna be great. But hey, man, we gotta catch up. How are you doing? How's life? How was running up for air? What's going down, boss?
Well, you know, it's Black Canyon race week, so I'm very stressed out, very tired. It's just on like repeat every year. I feel like we have more help than ever on our team, and things are getting more dialed every year, but then we keep doing new things every year. So it just keeps escalating itself.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't stay stagnant. You got to keep improving, leveling up. So that is our life. That's what we do. But yes, I just did get back from Salt Lake. I had a quick trip there Friday to early Sunday morning. Participated in the Running Up for Air Grandeur Peak. This is Jared Campbell's event. Its origins were in a Barkley prep run, and it has evolved into a multi-state, multidisciplinary event. So there's people that are like me that are running or hiking up and down a mountain all day, all night. We're raising money for clean air in Utah and beyond. And there's also people doing climbing events. So they're going to local gyms and they're basically climbing as many routes as they can in a certain amount of time. So I participated for the second time in the 12-hour event up there. There were quite a few other folks, including 24-hour runners that started the night before. So, you know, it's freezing cold, 20 degrees. I'm going to bed, and they're just starting, going all night. It's great.
Good community effort.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, people do crazy things. We talked about how many FKT of the year nominees. Like, nothing surprises me at this point. So, but you did the 12-hour, and
sir,
perfect. That seems like a completely reasonable training run for you, based on what we heard from you the past couple of weeks as you've been escalating.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we got a vlog coming out or something.
Tomorrow morning. So I gotta remember to upload it, but it's already done. It's already edited and reviewed, and just gotta hit that upload button. You know.
Sweet.
We're
so
on
put
top
a teaser
of it.
in there. Bang.
Yeah.
Back, baby.
Tease it up.
Sick. And then you're actually not going to be on site. It's weird to think about Black Canyon this weekend because it was like the first live stream that we did in terms of race coverage. And then neither of us are going to be there this year. We just wiped our hands of it. We're like one and done. Good luck, guys. Like, carry the torch. It's our toddler. It's like, nah, like, you're now one, so somebody else can watch you, and we're going to go rage and party elsewhere. So that's a little odd to let go of. But I'm excited that you're going to have some time, do your thing this weekend. And then, listen, man, we're going to keep on you on this training. Just because you did a weird 12-hour event the week after doing another weird 12-hour event. It felt like, yeah, like
Well,
we're
I
cracking
think
the
it
whip.
was, I think it was 4 weekends in a row that I did ultra marathons. So I started off with the Coldwater 50K.
Hmm.
Next weekend was the Grandpa Jim 50K. Then it was birthday run, and then it was 12-hour Rufa. And each one progressively got more miles and more climbing all the way through, essentially. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little tired. I did miss a couple runs last week. Not too happy about that. But we got one in yesterday. Today was a rest day. This week is a down week, which I think is perfect timing because
Good.
there's a ton going on. I'm supposed to be sleeping a lot. That is not going to happen. I can tell you that much, but that's okay.
We've come to expect nothing less from you. However, you did show me you're at least pre-programming the buttons
Oh, yeah.
for the folks that are doing the live stream. The magic behind the scenes, they can do quick scene changes.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, this is where it's at. So it's so funny. I mean, we could talk a little bit about the whole live stream experience because, yeah, 1 year ago, we were in the midst of figuring out the technology, how it was going to work. I remember the Sunday before Black Canyon was the first time I went out on course and actually tried like this new tech that we were using. Like I flew the drone from the finish line, just testing it. Like I had only tested in the studio as a proof of concept, and I was a total beginner to OBS. So I think we had just started using it with the podcast,
mhm.
maybe a month before, even a couple weeks before. So yeah, now it definitely feels a lot better. We've got most of the show will be run off of this stream deck right here. So you can switch. I'm not going to press a button right now because it's probably going to screw this entire podcast up. But yeah, essentially the commentators here in the studio will be able to control all the different drones, the different camera feeds, the different static cams. We've got a couple runners that are going to be checking in on the course. We've got at least one or more remote commentators as well. They're going to be jumping on. So it should be a good time. Hopefully
Yeah,
it
it's
will live up to the hype. You never know.
and if it doesn't, it's not our fault. So no,
Well,
no, it's gonna be great.
it's ultimately my fault, but what can you do? Like, are you paying for it? Like, no, it's
All
just
right,
a
no, we
bonus.
yes, it is definitely a bonus. We're excited to be in the background, helping to bring it to you, even though neither of us will be on camera that day. But you got some great folks you're going to have on screen, including Mr. Sensman himself is going to be in studio. I think we got. Has the second commentator been announced yet, or is he just going to magically show up? Can we drop that news finally?
Oh, Rob Ricardo.
Yeah, Robbie Rob, who you might remember from Cocodona After Dark and any other number of
Yeah.
activities, will
So,
also be
yep.
in the mix. And then Matty Ice will be
Yeah.
behind the scenes and eventually in front of the camera. So you got a crack team that'll get you guys through the entire Black Canyon experience on Saturday morning.
I will make an appearance at some point.
I want nothing more than you to be like in the middle of a kid's birthday party and just like bananagrams happening behind you, just wildness, and
I
you're just
don't
like, yeah, I'm trying to hold it together, like every like local newscaster who ends up in like a really weird remote presentation. So
I don't know that I'll remote in from there, but I will most definitely be on camera in the evening at night. Probably like a more like a 7 p.m. to midnight shift. I might be at the finish line of the 100K. That's what I'm hoping,
okay.
is that I can be on site. That's what we were talking about, providing. Hopefully grabbing some folks and getting their impressions of the race after they finished. Western States qualifying kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, that is a new feature as compared to last year. Is really trying to go the entire time of Western States lottery qualifier. So that whole 17 hour.
No, we're going the
15.
full. We're doing the full
What are we doing?
race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going the whole, just rocking out the whole
All
thing.
the
So,
way to the final cutoff. So we'll have 2 different streams. The first one will kick off at 6:30, which is before the elite wave, which goes off at 7 a.m. There will be wave 2 at 7:30, wave 3 at 8 o'clock. So there's 3 waves this year. So not quite the 30-person, 4-hour-long wave starts we saw last year. Roping it in a little bit. And the nice thing, there will be crews allowed this year again. Bumblebee, Black Canyon City, Table Mesa, the finish. They've got to bus people into the finish. We were looking into an alternate finish that I don't know that we've talked about this publicly, but and it may happen in the future. We're looking at a 2.5-mile extension to the Anthem outlets, which would, right now we have to shuttle every single person that wants to come see their runner finish, which is a lot of extra logistics. And it'd be nice to finish in a giant parking lot that everyone can be at. But the problem is it's basically in the middle of a neighborhood. So the after hours piece of that is not something currently that zoning and things allow. So that's just a little bit of behind the scenes. It would obviously change the event. It would be longer distance. So we're always thinking, always scheming. But standard finish line, shuttling crews in. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
So even if, obviously, you can watch the elites, watch the folks that are going for those golden tickets. And then if you have a runner who's, hey, maybe this is their first ultra. Maybe this is their first time running 100K. There's hey, I'm in survival mode. That's cool too. They'll also come through on the live stream and we'll be supporting them. So make sure you show up and show out in the chat, show some love. And it's going to be a whole family affair on Saturday. So get excited. You said 6:30 Arizona time. So 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, wherever Jim is. I don't know, add 17 hours for Australia and you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
so,
stream 1 will go from the start all the way through at least 5th place female, so we know that we have our golden tickets. And then we will restart the stream, and stream 2 will start around 5:30 p.m. and it'll go till 4 a.m., which will be the final cutoff for the 100K, including the extra hour for the third wave start. So
cool.
No 60K stream this year. We were contemplating it, but with Super Bowl Sunday, we figure we got to have maybe something to look forward to in the future, in some future edition. So
also, folks are getting done at 4 a.m. and then expecting to turn around 3 hours later and live stream again. That's not sustainable for staffing. So
that is the correct answer.
Yeah, for sure. It's all good. But no, there's still a lot of content coming at you guys this weekend. So looking forward to bringing it your way and then doing it again just 6 days later for Jackpot, which we'll talk about next week because this is the Black Canyon Preview Show. We got to get into it and we got to talk about what to expect this weekend, what we're looking at, what we're looking for, who the contenders are, who the dark horses might be, and just general shenanigans. And also hopefully get some insight on the trail as it currently lies. Weather, dryness, things like that, because somebody should be out there flagging it or something at this point. So before we get into it, sir, what are you drinking? Let's
yeah, I just grabbed this from the downstairs Air Vipa fridge. It's another Huss local one that I have not tried before. This is their low hazy IPA. It's a low calorie hazy IPA. 4%. I don't know. The only other choice in that fridge, granted, I think there was a cherry orange blossom, which would have been nice. All that else was in there was coffee Kolsch. And I can't be doing that anymore.
Oh, the beer 10K. Oh, long live the beer 10K video.
Can't be doing it.
That was good times. That was such a dumb decision on your part, but hey, man,
full of dumb decisions. I just thought of I just had a random thought because I know you and your Bud Heavies with all of your beer miles and beer half marathons.
Yeah.
Eric LaPuma in his Chasing Gold interview, which if you haven't heard or seen these yet, go check out the Air Viper Running YouTube channel. Scott Trayer, it was his idea for this series. He was interviewing in a little bit more of a fun, fresh way some of the top contenders. He had a lightning round at the end. He was asking folks, would they rather have their golden ticket handed to them by Gene Wilder or Johnny Depp, which I thought was hilarious. And basically no one knew who Gene Wilder was, which is quite sad.
Oh,
I know. Damn. Rest in peace. But Eric LaPuma, I think when he asked about any race superstitions, said, I drink a Budweiser 3 nights before my race. Because he did that before JFK. So now he's going to do that every time.
This is how it happens. This is how it happens. You just like happenstance into like weird superstitions like this.
Like, what did I do? I'm going to replicate that. Let's go.
Exactly. That's why I always have a local IPA the night before a race. Just to be like, to pay homage to where I am. And also it's an IPA. So can't go wrong. Yeah. Can't say that's how the Bud Heavies came about. That was just strictly logistical / deep scientific research on carbonation versus like drinkability for a beer half marathon. But we don't need to go into that. That's an aside. We can wait to our Q&A Let's Kill Time episode because we need to get into Black Canyon this weekend, this 100K, and the stupidity that we can just expect to just explode on the screen. So what side of the bio should we start on?
Like men's or women's?
Yes, that was a poor way of me setting that up.
Women. Let's start with the women.
I did a tempo run today. I'm still a little hazy, so roll with me here.
Perfect.
All right. You said the women. Okay, sir. We should probably lay the groundwork really quickly. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but it is a golden ticket race. Historically, that means the top 2 on both sides for the men and the women get an automatic qualification into this year's Western States. However, with the Tarawera Ultras being canceled this year, Black Canyon was the recipient of an additional golden ticket on both sides, which means that the top 3 finishers who are eligible, do not already have entry, and that's pretty much it, are eligible to go into the lottery, accept these golden tickets, and just go straight into Western States, as long as they are also within the top 5 overall for their respective gender in the race. So long story short, 3 golden tickets, got to finish in the top 5 no matter what. Okay. Did I miss anything?
You got it. Nailed it.
Cool. Sweet. All right. On the women's side, who are you looking for? Who are some big names?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot.
Yeah. I will say the live stream, like behind the scenes spreadsheet so that everyone who's talking on camera looks capable, is absurd. As the person who made the spreadsheet last year, there's twice as many people on it this year, and they are all legitimate threats to pop up out of nowhere and not only take the win, or not only get a golden ticket, but also potentially take the win on a good day. So a lot of folks coming from all sides of the spectrum, some real like speed dominant folks, and folks who crush it at hundreds on a regular basis, dropping down in distance and trying to earn their way into Western States. So what you thinking, sir?
Well, like for context, not that your ultra sign up score is everything, right? But it's a factor. Like, so like 90% ultra sign up breaking it up, I would consider you're a fairly decent runner, right? You're finishing within 10% of the time of the winner average for like your career. 47 women, 90% and above.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are some where it's like, hey, they've run 2 races.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly.
But the majority of them.
But a lot of them are like 10, 20, 30 races and they're over 90%. So I think that's pretty decent. Of course, not all of them are going to be factors into the golden ticket race, but E.O. Wang, former winner of Black Canyon, is in the mix. Addie Bracey, who was here last year and fell off pace. We've got Devin Yanko towing the line. We have Taylor Nolan Anne Marie Madden, Claire Gallagher. Who else do we got here? So Gary Robbins, I guess the cat's going to be out of the bag or something here, but he told me, he texted me and said, watch out for Catherine Short.
Yeah.
And he says she will podium.
Okay, so let's delve into her background a bit quickly, because that was one of the additions that I had to make to the live stream sheet, because she had not been, on the radar before, and I was like, this name sounds familiar. Come to find out that she took third place at the Xterra Trail World Championships back in, was that late November, early December, which is admittedly a shorter race. I think it's closer to like a half marathon. But I mean, it was won by Grayson Murphy. So you know that it's going to be a pretty competitive field that she was a part of. She's also was first at Squamish 50K last year, and was first at the Deception Pass 50K back in 2019 with a pretty speedy 4:39. So she's definitely no stranger to being at the sharp end of the spear when it comes to competition, being really in the mix with some high level competition. But this might also actually be one of her first 100K attempts, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. So it'll be interesting to see if you go double the distance of her longest previous race, she'll be able to hold it down. But if Gary gives the stamp of approval, then I'm more than likely to say that, yeah, she's probably ready to rock.
Absolutely. Let's see. The list keeps going on and on. Pam Smith, former Western States 100 winner. So, like, for instance, Mariah Vargas, who got a ticket a couple years ago.
Last year.
Was it last year? She was the one that it rolled down to?
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. And she ended up placing 16th at Western States. But yeah, she was 4th here last year, 7th the year before. She is like 45th out of that list or something.
It's absurd. I mean, you have to give some credit to knowing this course specifically. Like, if you have 2 consecutive top 10s, in fairness, her 4th place she wasn't like very far back in her 4th place at all. Would she run like 9:36, I think, something like that last year. So she definitely has wheels. And then she knows exactly how that last 10 miles is going to shake out, which is the weirdest, rockiest section of the course. So if you've survived that and actually like thrived in that environment before, that might actually give her a leg up, even though she on paper might not necessarily be, the fastest ultra sign up score or what have you. So don't sleep on her. Don't sleep on Mariah Vargas. Got to shout out California, even though it's Southern California, so like not as great. But I'll shout out some Cali love. She'll tear it up.
A lot of local speedsters, I would call them, in the mix this year, like from Arizona, maybe not have had like a national breakout race, but I think right on the edge, like we could see, I think, a kind of a dark horse performance from a number of locals. So like Lindsay McDonald from Flagstaff, we got Megan Cooperis from Phoenix, Lauren Curry from Scottsdale. Oh, let's see who else. There were some others, I think, here. Jade Billsberg from Sedona, Natalie Sandoval, Phoenix. There's a bunch of racing team members as well from Aravaipa. Got to shout them out. So we got Brianna Grigsby. We have Corinne Chalvoy. Who else? Lottie Brinks, who was 1 ticket away at her debut 100-miler at Javelina.
Mm-hmm.
Has been in Arizona, I think, for about a week or so, getting used to the course, and see how she runs. That'll be interesting too.
She's gonna run well. Look, that's my predict. Like, if we were going to go on the prediction game, was going to be definitely in my top 3. Yeah, also recently married. So congratulations on that to Lottie for giving us a significantly easier last name to pronounce, because that Zeller confusion was not kind to Jamil and myself. So Brinks, thanks. That's easy. And now let's go ahead and back the Brinks truck up to the Black Canyon course and throw a golden ticket in the back of that thing.
From Gene Wilder. Boom.
There you go. Who was the original Willy Wonka, in case that was not clear to people. And
I think that's the thing. People just didn't know his name. I don't know. I don't know that the delivery... Anyways, it doesn't matter.
It comes out of left field. You're not necessarily ready for that question, so it makes it more difficult.
Well, I think the way he asked it, too, it was like, would you give the golden ticket to Gene Wilder, or maybe I just can't understand Boston speak or something.
That's cool. That's what we need to do, is insult an entire region. So sweet. We're gonna end on Sweet Carolina.
They probably can't understand what I'm saying. It's fine.
Oh, geez. Okay, cool. Who else is on the list that you?
Who did I miss? I'm sure I missed quite a few.
Did you say Nicole Hansen just won Coldwater Rumble?
I did not.
And a new course record out of Peoria. That'll be interesting. Clearly, this is if you're running Coldwater and then doubling back for Platte Canyon, you probably know a bit about the area. So this could be somebody who also has some insight on the course and will not be surprised by how things shake out.
Yeah, that's right. So, because she was ahead of me, just ahead of me at Coldwater this year. But she has, from what it looks like, never run this far before. So that will be interesting to see. Most definitely.
Absolutely. And then we got a couple folks coming up from Colorado. One that I was not confused by, intrigued by, was Kylie Drugan Epic, I think is how you pronounce it.
I just clicked on that one. Yeah.
Out of Golden. So like going through the research, had a pretty good year last year, taking second at both Collegiate Peaks 50 and Bear Ears 50. She actually ran at Smith College. So had some cross country in her background, was more of a speedster, and now it looks to be looking towards ultra distance events. And so that was when I was like, coming from Golden, used to be the backyard of one Courtney DeWalter. I don't know if there was something in the water there, but maybe just like osmosis of that, she might be one who comes up and surprises. So no pressure, but that's one I had my eye on. And then also coming out was Lauren Peretz. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. You can DM us and make sure we know before Saturday. But coming out of Colorado Springs, home of that second Aravaipa office. But she just took fifth at Bandera last year, and then a fourth at Pikes Peak Marathon. So no stranger to the grind, to the grit, and clearly has been in a situation where she was close to, but didn't quite get that golden ticket. So excited to see her come back and try to gain entry into the big dance again. So never sleep on anybody coming from altitude when it comes down to coming to these courses, unless they have not been preparing for the heat. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. But another one to keep an eye on. You're aggressively staring at the screen, which means you have thought.
Yeah. What I was going to say, I was going to jump into the chat real quick and just give it a shout out to those who are in there. Charlie Seymour, going to be volunteering finally at the live stream. Appreciate you for that.
Woo!
Dima is asking me about why my Strava is private now. You just going into low key mode for a bit. David Callan, Wilder over Depp any day. Same with Brian Aaliyah. And David Callan says the question was perfectly clear. People just don't know pop culture references. All right. Brian Aaliyah did want us to touch on this, which I don't know how much we've gone into this on this podcast, but maybe it's an appropriate time to do so. What happened to Lisa Roberts, the Yoda runner? Golden ticket, then banned from Western states and now gone. Have we talked about this much on the pod? Not really?
No.
Okay.
No, we have not. So how do we So, if you were to review the Western States policy, it's essentially a zero tolerance policy around uh, performance enhancing drug use. Um, that's obviously they've built in drug testing to their top 10 when you finish at Western States. Obviously, this is like goes beyond just like a clean sport pledge, something they're actually trying to embody. In a nutshell, and Jamil can speak more to the specifics of like how this nuance worked. In a nutshell, there was a period when Lisa Roberts in her triathlon days was given a like provisionary, like we need to do a second like B sample type thing. Because it originally flagged, she was never actually suspended in the professional triathlon ranks for a doping violation. But even though she had like gone to a B sample and there was, I guess, some sort of discrepancy that they needed to work through, that triggered the Western States doping policy, which I guess the last time it was most notably triggered was when Lance Armstrong potentially was going to come pace for someone at Western States. So triggered that policy and essentially forbid her from not only accepting the golden ticket, but participating in the race writ large. That's the quick and dirty explanation I have, but you have any more nuance you want to walk through on that?
Yeah, I believe it was a like an asthma medication. She didn't have a TUE for it, which of note is that asthma medication is no longer on the banned list.
Also true.
I mean, kind of, it's just interesting, but that is kind of beside the point. So she did have a warning issued to her. She was able to obtain the TUE and race the weekend after this happened in triathlon. So she was never suspended from the sport. I think the result that she tested positive for was nullified, whatever race that she was in. So, but just the fact that she, I guess, broke that rule and had that warning issued to her does fall within the line of that performance rule for Western States 100. And it is a complete zero tolerance policy. That is what the board of Western States voted upon and is standing behind. And I believe it, not that they are trying to be public about their enforcement, but I believe it might be the first utilization of that rule, certainly for a golden ticket, because she was second last year at Black Canyon. We saw her running all day with Yoda on the pack. You know, we didn't really know at the time, but, you know, in the future, if we did know about that in advance, we would, of course, you know, not hand her the ticket. But anyways, so as far as where is she now, yeah, she did move. She was in Tucson, I believe, moved to the East Coast. I think someone here says North Carolina. But she has signed up for a couple. She did run the Crown King Scramble in March. She placed fourth. She is signed up for the Silverton Alpine 50K this summer and the Ultra Race of Champions 100K in Virginia. So, yeah, she will, you know, she's not banned from the sport, but, you know, does have a lifetime ban from Western States 100 under their policy. So that's as much as we know. So,
yeah, these are the facts of life.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
So on a brighter note, what else do we got? Anything else on the women? Obviously, very strong field. It's going to be very exciting to see not only a lot of the names that we know and that have been pretty dominant in the sport over the last decade. Quite a few of them are racing, but a whole host of newer ladies, and especially with this extra golden ticket, it is going to make it's going to make the race deeper, because it's not I'm outside the top two, I might as well just kind of give up. Not saying people give up, but it goes 3 deep now. So I think that's going to keep people pushing longer and chasing harder because they know there's 3 up for grabs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we just look at, you know, you have the Eric Sinsman like example from last year, just to move from third to second. I can wholly imagine there are going to be folks that are in that 4th, 5th, 6th spot with 8 miles to go that are still definitely in contention. It's the hottest part of the day. It's the rockiest part of the trail. Like, people can make mistakes, do something, do some poor management at that last aid station, and be in for a world of hurt as they come into the finish. So yeah, people are definitely pushing. The one last one that I sort of really want to make sure I highlight here is we got to talk about Brianna Grigsby's, the fact that she took 5th at Bandera last month, was 2nd in the 100K here last year. She knows a good chunk of the trail. She's from Southern Arizona, and clearly is in shape and really wants this golden ticket. So, I think she's going to be coming out guns blazing as well. Might be somebody who really pushes the pace early, because she does not want to end up with another Bandera situation. So I think we're gonna see some big names.
One to watch for sure.
But yeah, in terms of folks that aren't necessarily top of mind, don't have the highest Instagram followings in ultra running, I think she's also going to be up there as well. So just don't be surprised when you're watching the live stream and 6 of the top 10 people, you've only heard their names mentioned on this podcast. That's really what this comes down to on the women's side. You're going to have some folks that are shooting their shot. And if you've been watching biathlon during the Winter Olympics, sometimes you shoot your shot and you just hit the target. So it only takes one person to have a spectacular day to shake things up. And you also got a couple of people who already have entry into Western. So there's a world where, we end up having things roll down and a 4th place person all of a sudden just, they didn't expect it when they crossed the line. They thought they missed their dream, and here they are. So we'll see. We shall see.
Yep. Alrighty. Look on to the men. Is that where we're at?
It is. Sorry, I took a poorly timed.
No, it's all good.
Topo Chico drink.
Yep.
Really trying to rehydrate. And
we did have a question in the chat. Will we see someone from Wave 2 come on up, or will Wave 1 be large enough? We have done our best to get everyone who will be in contention into Wave 1. And Wave 1 is going to be 200 to 250 people is the size of it. So we're not limited in any capacity for the size of Wave 1 in terms of getting people into it. So if people have a legitimate shot, they're going to be there.
Yeah. I mean, and y'all straight up asked people, like, hey, if you think you should be in Wave 1, let us know. Like, there was a form. So
there's a form, and we're definitely sorting it also by your ultra sign up ranking. So those top 100 men, those top 100 women on the list are already going to be pre-filtered without even you signing up on a form or anything. So
should be good.
And
should be good.
Yeah, last year we had a men's start and then a women's start separate, and it will be together this year again, like normal, more normal. So
sweet.
All right.
Crushing it. Yeah, we were just talking about people who are already in Western for next year, and the men's side also definitely has that going down, as well as a lot of people who earned golden tickets in the past couple of years coming back to earn their way back into the big dance. We got to listen. I'm super excited. I'm just going to say it off the top that Justin Grunwald is in the field, because the man with the dirtiest kick last year, it wasn't even for a golden ticket. He's just like, I'm out here sniping and running down folks. So I'm excited to see him back. Hopefully he can piece it together for the first 99.5K, so it doesn't come down to a kick for anything, and he can comfortably come into the finish line. But he's definitely going to be one to watch. Somebody who's excelled here in the past, has done some weird FKTs of late. Just puts himself through the wildest challenges, and this is going to seem pretty straightforward for him. So yeah, off the jump, I just got to put it out there. As soon as I saw the start list and saw he was on it, I was like, yes, because if nothing else, I'm gonna be very entertained for that last little uphill section and the cattle gate that may or may not be open. I guess we'll find out.
It was funny. We had a staff meeting. Was it last night? And the cattle gate came up for sure. There was like discussion, multiple points of discussion on. Okay, so this person talked to them with the key to get the gate open for course marking, and then on race day, and yes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean,
No, man, just make people steeplechase. It's
like,
like, sure, you've
if
been
you're
running
in
for 8 hours,
first,
just
if you're in
steeple.
first place, that's just a little extra thing you got to do.
Can there be like a Legends of the Hidden Temple tie-in? Like somebody runs in from the side like a temple guard, and they got to like try to get through the gate before the temple guard gets them. I'm just saying, like, there's some ways we can spice this up.
Oh man. So
All
yeah,
right,
we
who,
got
who are
that.
you looking at?
Oh my God, it's pretty insane as well. So there's 55 men, 90% and above.
Yeah,
So even a handful more. And we'll get more to your questions in the chat. So keep those rolling after we talk about this a little bit. So, man, where do we even begin? So we got to talk about Anthony Costales. I
absolutely.
think is a big name. He won Canyons and then was second at Run Rabbit Run 100 in his debut 100 miler. So he did not take that ticket for Western States last
He
year.
originally was supposed to. Then I think he got
He
injured
withdrew.
just
Yeah.
beforehand. Yeah, so he didn't end up actually
Okay.
on the start line at Western.
Gotcha. So I think he's going to be a big factor here. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Another big one, Adrian McDonald. So he won Leadville 100. He is a fast road guy. I think he's going to be a major factor out here. He was just in Phoenix for the Rock and Roll Half, and he was out on the course, so I think that he will know what he's getting into. We got to talk about Mr. Jared Hazen.
Yeah.
So home field advantage, and he just announced right prior to the show that he is running for Solomon now, which is pretty awesome.
No homerism there at all. Yeah.
What?
Said no homerism there at all for you. Yeah.
No, but he's going to be a factor.
Yeah, obviously. We're talking about the person with the second fastest time ever at Western States. His one Lake Sonoma, his one JFK. No stranger to like pushing the pace and being out there, getting after it. And yes, being in Flagstaff, we know that the Cowboys have had a history of spending a lot of time on the Black Canyon trails in their previous endeavors. Doesn't he have a finish at Black Canyon? Might just been in the 60K. He knows this course is what I'm getting at. So
has he run? I know he's paced. I'm trying to remember if he's run it before. He has a DNF from 2019. That's right. That was like one of the alternate years.
Yeah. Okay. So
he hasn't run the full course.
He knows most of the course. I can guarantee he's seen every step of this course.
Oh, many times over.
Yes. So, in terms of folks who know what they're getting themselves into and are not over raced, like he hasn't done a lot super recently, and so he's prepared. We see people who carry over residual fitness from Bandera having just missed a golden ticket. This is a dude who's fresh, and we know that him fresh is a terrifying thing based on what he's done at Western and what he's done at JFK. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, the flip side of that is ensuring that he hasn't been hurt or something like that. But I've seen no signs of that in what I've seen, training, things like that. So if he's towing the line, it's because he's ready and he's ready to rip it. So
I think another name you got to watch out for is Preston Cates. He's a younger dude. He was bumping elbows with those guys like Max King and Anthony Costales at Canyons last year. He ended up in 6th place, and so he has some experience at this kind of a distance. It'll be fun to see how he does out here on this course. having, I think, never run it before. So never run. I don't even know if he's run on the course.
Yeah, because that terrifies him any other time. Come on. He literally just like started rocking up with all those elites at canyons. And just like, yeah. And they literally just, like all the post race interviews were
Like,
hilarious
who's
because
this kid?
there's like, we're like mentoring him in the middle of the run because like nobody knew who he was. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to shy away from an opportunity to be in the mix. Inherently, Black Canyon is kind of difficult to run like pack style just because of how much of it is that sort of like rolling single track around a lot of those hills, I guess, if you want to call them that. But if he can latch on to somebody who knows what they're doing, he can ride the wave for quite some time, and he's not gonna shy away from that opportunity.
Do you have any beta on some of these other guys? There's a lot of names that I don't recognize, but are fairly high up in the rankings.
Yeah, I can delve into some stuff. I will say one person that Matty Ice is super excited about is Makai Clemens. So former NAU runner. I think honestly only ran his freshman year. It was like the last year before Dave Smith, the current coach at NAU, came in. So I don't know if that all factored in, but dude is like a 13 mid 5K type guy. So he's got wheels. And then he went off, joined the military, and has been stationed in Asia for quite some time, or was until recently. So if he's been doing long endurance efforts, as much military training can be, sometimes just running around bases over and over, he's somebody who could be very interesting to see how he throws down. So I will give Matty Ice the due that he wants from Makai Clemens. Definitely going to be one to watch. I think we also got to talk about Jackson Brill. This is him at Black Canyon is an interesting decision. I didn't ever really think of him as okay. My bias is I think that Black Canyon is a relatively fast 100K if you know how to run the last 8 to 10 miles. Like we talk about the downhill nature of it, yada, 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 like sure. But people blow up epically after that last aid station, right? Or I guess 2 aid stations out. So it's interesting when folks that I think are more mountain type ultra runners come down and do this sort of speedy element. This should be shattered in my head because of what String Bean has been able to do for the past couple of runs. But that's my bias as I present this. So Jackson Brill, interesting, was first at Quad Rock 50 mile last year, comes from Idaho. And I think the first time I ever heard about him was just a conversation with you about just some of the like tech stuff, like just technical ass terrains that he runs on, and just like some of those previous efforts where he's been excelling. So he's got experience, not a big name for a lot of people, but he can mix it up and be in the pain cave for quite some time. So I'll be interested to see if he's got the leg speed to go out with those front guys, and then the wherewithal to take care of himself enough to survive in these temperatures for those last 2 or so hours. Seth Ruling, also someone we got to bring up, was first at Broken Arrow 52K, second at Run the Rut 50K, sixth at Pikes Peak Marathon. Again, not the fastest flat / partially mostly downhill courses, right? But last year went for it and then DNF'd at Black Canyon. Can he figure it out? Did he see enough of the course to be like, okay, how do I not make the same mistakes again? Keep myself in position with what is probably actually a more stacked field than last year, and put himself in position to get this top 3. I don't know. I want to think so because it would just be a nice comeback story. But yeah, he'll be one that's going to be very intriguing. Also coming from Colorado. So again, has he been training for what is going to be a pretty hot day? Time will tell, I suppose. Who else is in the mix that I saw? We got to talk about the Bellis brothers, right?
Yep.
You got both of them. They're both running this year. So you've got Andrew, who did actually run last year, believe his brother was the one who was hurt and had to DNS. But Andrew Bellis, there was a whole Bellis Brothers video on, was it the Aravaipa YouTube channel?
It is there now, yes.
Yeah, so you can, if you want more details on them, you can check them out. But Andrew was 9th at Black Canyon last year. He also has a 5th at Bandera back in 2020. So someone who's been in contention for golden tickets in the past, but just hasn't quite put it together. Coming up from Tucson, when your main training partner is also equally as talented as you, hopefully will be enough to push him a little bit closer to the podium and potentially knock it out. But Matt, no slouch on his own, took 15th at Javelina 100-mile last year, as well as 3rd at Tusher's 100K, 1st at Flagstaff Big Pine, 2nd at Whiskey Basin. So he's been tearing it up all over Arizona. So not a big name outside of the state, but he's covered a lot of distances. And this sort of 100K sweet spot that he's developed should bode well. It's just a matter of, again, can he turn it over into some leg speed to get over the hump and potentially crack into that top 3. Don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I'll say the 15th at Javelina scares me a little bit, but it's a 100-mile. So, he has great performances at the 100K distance. I don't know if Javelina and taking 15th there, which again, not a horrible place at all by any stretch. I don't know if that's a function of the gap in distance from 100K to 100-mile, or it's an issue of a more runnable, quote unquote, course where leg speed is a bit more of a premium. We'll find out. But if he can put it together on the day, then the two of them, obviously, as a tandem, can sort of let one check out while the other one's pacing on single track and, cycle through. And who knows, maybe just team time trial this in a way that some other runners might not be able to replicate.
It'll be interesting to see how Brian Whitfield does this year, I think. He should be one to watch. He, of course, led the race through 60K last year before walking it back in to Black Canyon City, I believe. So he hasn't run 100K since it, but definitely has been running well at the shorter distance. So we'll see if he's learned some lessons and changed some things up to go the distance this time and keep it together. Also, Elliot Carden, he was 3rd here, podium spot in 2020.
Yeah.
And he is now back. So I think you gotta keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah, had the golden ticket that rolled into 2021, I suppose, and then DNF'd at Western. So just trying to relive that magic, get that golden ticket, coming down from Canada. So congrats on making it here, I guess, at this point. And just really, really about to tear it up. So somebody who knows the course. 2020 was a full course year. So he knows, again, every inch of this course. And if I remember correctly, and I'd have to pull up the splits and whatnot, but if I remember correctly, I actually had a pretty sensible race plan. It wasn't a go out crazy and then hold on for dear life situation. I think he actually ran a pretty intelligent pacing strategy. So if he can capitalize on that, not get caught up in a lot of the folks who hammer out the gate, this could be this year's Nick Curry story, running their way onto the podium. So,
and we got to shout out Scott Traer. So the host of Chasing Gold, he is also towing the line. He, of course, coming off of a great run at Desert Solstice, and he, from the looks of it, recovered pretty quick from that and has been training hard. So he has a ton of experience, and it's going to be fun to watch him out there as well.
Yeah, it's going to be listen, this is the same thing we said on the women's side. You're going to find some stories. You're going to get invested in some folks. Not everybody's going to make it to the finish line, but those that do, regardless of if they are at the the top 3, those golden ticket spots, if they're in the top 10, or if they come in 25th, there are going to be people you can get behind. There's a lot of talented folks out there, and super excited to just follow not just these folks that are potentially golden ticket podium contenders. We didn't even go through it. It's like 70. The spreadsheet's like 70 rows per person. Like, it's a lot of people that the live stream folks got to be on top of. But there's also gonna be so many stories through the entire pack and through the night. So a lot to get excited about this weekend. A lot to latch on to. So regardless of time of day, make sure you hop in, have your beverage of choice, and just like get excited about running, return to normalcy type event, and just like people putting themselves on the line after some weird times and trying to achieve their dreams. It's always fun.
One more of note.
What?
So Brian Curl, he's the one that did 8 laps this last weekend. He signed up for He signed up for the 100K.
That seems ill-advised. So
I'm like, how? Because I didn't really know who he was. I had to look him up, and I'm like, he's registered this weekend. We'll see if he is planning to actually race it. I have no idea. That's quite the turnaround.
Yeah, that's why that wasn't on my radar, because that's silly. Listen, this will be the most impressive thing if he runs himself into hell. I'll say top 10 after, hey, I'm just going to go to 12 hours at Rufa and then go do 100K in less time than that, significantly less time. Most people aren't like, if you're running more than a half marathon, most people are kind of like, all right, I feel like an extra third over my long run length, probably, like, we're good. I don't think people are really like, let me go run an extra 3.5 hours for whatever. That's cool. I don't need to belabor this point. We're fine. I messed up my screen, so I don't know what's happening.
So is Craig Hunt running again? Question in the chat from Dylan Sinclair. He was, but I believe he has withdrawn. I don't see him on the entrance list anymore. So
I can't search this thing. I did see him at one point. Yeah, so that sounds correct. No, he is crossed out in the live stream sheet. So see him at Canyons.
There you go. Cool. Well, is that the preview then? That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. I've messed up my entire interface
it's
here.
Over. We've lost it all.
It's fine.
And we're done.
That's cool. No. What's the weather looking like? I know we touched last week that it's
hot.
So that forecast is still held true.
People were trying to tell me that I said that and I was going to jinx it and it's going to be a snow course. No. Hot year. 80 degrees for the high.
That's going to be warm. Yeah.
That's going to be a warm one. So we warned you last week. We said, do your heat training. Have you done it? Outhouse Nation. Outpost Nation, whatever. I don't know.
One and the same at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Bone dry course.
Yeah, there was if you want to see current course conditions, go to the YouTube channel Viv's Vibe. She was out on the course like a week ago. Had a YouTube video showing it was basically rock hopping across those creeks. Okay. So even if you want to, like, even laying down in the creek is a bit of a stretch. You might be able to splash a little bit in your hat, or you could, I guess, lay and then turn over and get yourself saturated, but it's not going to be a typical like dunk your entire body in one shot kind of a year.
Sweet. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be absolute mayhem.
Yeah, bring your extra water capacity, especially leaving Black Canyon City. Just a PSA to participants. You don't want to run out of water. Definitely not.
Take care of yourselves.
Yep.
That last stretch is slower. It's all relative. What was my projection sheet from last year? It's the calculations were just got like wild. It's like, okay, we can predict a Black Canyon City, and then Black Canyon City just like the stripe, like the cone of projection just got like insane because some people continue on the trend line and some people just flatline, literally and figuratively. It felt like so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Take care of yourselves, people.
So Brian Aaliyah in the chat asks, did I ever address how golden tickets got switched to Javelina 100, if I requested it, or was it the Western States Board? So the reasons the tickets became available was because the Ultra Trail World Tour is ending or / did end at the end of 2021 with the creation of the UTMB World Series. So like the social media handle for Ultra Trail World Tour is now UTMB World Series. So they had these extra spots that would normally go to elite runners that are from the Ultra Trail World Tour. They would apply, so international runners from around the world would get in. So that process went away, and that's why you saw the international races added to the calendar. So you saw UTMB, Le Templier, and Tarawera. I did not request Javelina to be added. I was contacted by Western States and asking if we would like that. And of course we would like that. Yeah, that's basically kind of how it played out. So super grateful for it. I thought it was really awesome. And another quick plug, if you haven't seen the top 2 film that we just put out on the Air Viper Running YouTube channel, please go check it out. It's not super long, but it does give you an insight into the first year of Javelina as Golden Ticket Race and some of the athletes that earn those tickets. Pretty cool to see it. It'll be fun to see how they do at Western States. And then, of course, as we touched on earlier in the podcast, Tarawera is supposed to be this Friday or this weekend. It was canceled. So those additional spots from that event are going to Black Canyon and Canyons.
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff you to watch on the treadmill when you're avoiding poor winter weather wherever you are. Because that's what you want to see is people running around in 80 degrees when you're looking outside your window and it's just snowing consistently. You can do it in live stream. You can do it for the top 2 video. I did watch it. It wasn't free. It's not it's not that long, but it'll get you through a couple miles on the treadmill. So make it happen. Anything else going down in the chat?
Let's see. What's the campground scene like Saturday night? Good times. I don't know which campground. Maybe
Can't be Black Canyon.
Bumblebee. Well, I guess people do camp at Black Canyon City. Hopefully it's not too loud because there's still 60K people the next day. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. That's about it. Real
Sweet.
winter weather in the Bay? You guys getting some weather?
Dude, it's super dry. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been fine. I did a tempo workout of sorts on the track today because track season is back and that's how my life goes. And I was just like standing at practice as my shorts dried and it was just a salt ring like around the bottom of my shorts. Like that's how much I had sweat. It's warm and it's dry as hell. So no. Yeah, I guess this is winter for us, but yeah, no, it's great. Come on over. We'll love to just tour you around the headlands or go on Mount Diablo and
perfect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even the East Bay. Like I did that 10K on Mount Diablo last week, and when I got there, it was like 34 degrees or whatever. But that's because it's the valley, like way over there. But the high of it was still 60s or 70s that day. So we don't do this snow thing. I left that behind. So the Great Lakes ruined that for me. They were like, "What lake effect snow?" And I was like, "I'm out. Nah, hard pass." Yeah, when you see the inside of windows frosting over because it's that cold outside, nah, that ain't it, boss.
Brian says you and Nasty Nate linked up.
Yes, we did. That's always good to catch up with Nasty Nate. We're both actually running Me Walk, so we're he's coming at it from the perspective of somebody who's run, like 100Ks and 100 milers before. He's also run Me Walk, so he knows that course, whereas I am just winging it and only know the last 13 miles because I paced him for that. So yeah, we'll be relying on each other regularly because that's what friends do, especially when you don't want to drive all the way to Mill Valley. And that's like 45 minutes of your day to go run. We can just link up
Perfect.
in the East Bay and show folks how we get down. So looking forward to it. We will be doing many more regular runs. We have some things in the can, some more regular routes, and we're just trying not to embarrass this half of the pod because like that guy over there, he does a bunch of weird, crazy long runs. I'm just trying to hold it together over here.
Yes, I am starting to realize that I do some weird stuff. That's for sure. When I'm running like pretty much all day, 1 day a week for like 4 weekends in a row, just dawn till dusk, run all day, basically.
Like I'm trying to get it around my head. Like, hey, let me get to like 10 hours a week of training. Like that's a level I've never hit. Like basically, even like training for marathons, 50Ks, I'm like 6.5 hours is kind of like where I've maxed out in like peak weeks. I'm trying to like bump that up a bit. The fact that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go run 9 to 12 hours for a training run, having
Every
run
weekend.
every other day that week. I'm like, what? I just that's so far outside of my reality. Like I have difficulty comprehending that.
I
So
think I've been doing about 15 hours a week lately. Like
mhm.
last week was
I'm
bad.
happy.
Last week was bad. Let's just be honest. It was bad.
It was bad for all of us.
Yeah. Good. Glad. I wasn't the only one. Perfect.
I'm just
Love it.
happy I have a functional calf again. So thanks, Hal, Mount Tam Sport and Spine. Bam. Who will also be a Black Canyon. So I hope that Rob or Matt are in the chat and can make sure they shout out Hal. Chiropractor of the stars. And just elite athletes. And then me, apparently. So thanks. I'm not elite, just so we're clear. I am not a world-class athlete. I need to go get the shirt out the closet and I'll put that back on for you guys.
Okay. What are you drinking tonight?
Dude, I had so many things. I finished and I didn't have enough fluids with me at practice when I had to stand there for 3 hours after doing my workout. So non-alcoholic, had the Dr. Pepper cream soda, which I'm pretty sure I bought in the summer of 2020 while we were doing was one of the last man standing events. Somebody had mentioned it in the chat and I was like, I'm gonna go track this down. Then I bought like way too much and I'm still working through it. But it is delicious.
Was
so
that
whatever.
during like Lone Mountain?
I think so.
Oh my God. I think there was something else that came out of that. I forget. I think we sent you something, if I recall. Do you remember that?
No, dude, I barely remember last week. You think I'm gonna remember a year and a half ago?
All right.
Time's a flat.
It clearly didn't make an impact.
Oh, the flush.
Maybe. Like it was like a button thing you press.
We had the button air horn.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I think is actually on my side of the bed over there. I don't know why. I had nowhere else to put it. And yes, the flush sound effect that I still have somewhere on my computer because of every time somebody crashed out.
That's right.
I'd go flush the toilet, but people would come in like 4 hours later, had no idea what the hell we were doing. They just thought I was being rude, which not a horrible way to think about that. But anyway, I digress. And then I had this exotic pineapple Topo Chico because basically water. And also neither of us like pineapple. I don't know why we have these, but like that means it's my job to drink it. And then I'm now on the pumpkin. That's right. I don't care if it's February. I'm still drinking the autumnal Southern Tier beer of choice, pumpkin. Yeah. So here we are. Rehydration at its finest.
Great work.
Speaking of, I don't know why. Okay, we're gonna take an aside. Did you see Molly Seidel's Instagram post today by chance?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was great. So if you're out there on dating apps, don't be a douchebag, I think is rule number one. If you did not see her post, I highly recommend you go see it. Basically, somebody asked her what her job was. She said, I'm a professional marathon runner. He's like, "Oh, so you think you'd win in a race?" And her response was, "I effing hope so," or "I would effing hope so." And then like, so her whole thing was like unmatched. So basically, like, just don't be, just don't be shitty. Like, the thing is, this like, are you still doing pickup artist negging from like 2007? Like, what are you doing? Like, engage as a person. That's my PSA to single people out there. So, Jamil, take notes. Just wait until we do the win a date with Jamil dating show concept. We've been workshopping this for a year in this household over here, so get excited. It's coming. It's coming soon. So if you are out there and you have non-running single friends, that's preferred. Yeah, let us know. I'll let you know how they can win a date with Jamil. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna throw it out there. I was throwing it into the reality. We'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna
go into the chat now.
This is why we don't podcast at the normal time anymore. It's why we do like those Wednesday midday shows where they're just like very business. So
yeah,
this
is getting better. This is good stuff. Kevin Hadfield, I'm late to the show. Did you have a good time at running up for air? Well, besides getting completely embarrassed by Courtney DeWalter, it was great.
I look forward to that being relayed in the vlog when you drop it tomorrow. So,
oh yeah, it was basically Courtney sprinting down the mountain every time and me being like, great job, keep it up.
Well,
yeah, but watch that video drops tomorrow, Kevin, so check it out. Some good scenes for sure. But seriously, the trail was, it's weird because the start of it is in a canyon, so it's very snowy and iced over. It's all socked in. And then you climb up on a south-facing slope, so it's dry, almost dry, like, except in the middle of the trail there was these snow drifts in the middle, and so that made the trail even more narrow and then cambered, and then it starts melting and turning into mud and slush, and people are going back and forth, and it's overgrown. It was just like super technical and unstable and crazy, and then it turns back to snow at the top. So it's a good time.
Exactly what you needed.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I got a yawn count going. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's fine.
All right.
It's cool.
Do we have any other topics to touch on this week besides Black Canyon, or?
I mean, I'll just like high point the run flat news. There wasn't a whole lot. We did have the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix last week, which had a lot of people who were at the Millrose games coming back and doing some more ridiculous things. I think all those are now up on like NBC if you really want to catch them. I think the big news of the weekend, at least in America, was the fact that we have our, I believe, 13th high schooler ever to break 4 in the mile. Colin Salmon, part of the Newberry Park cross country squad that we talked about all the damn time, it felt like, in the fall, because they deserved it. They were smashing on literally everyone. He ran 3:58 in the mile, just 1 second behind Hobbs Kessler's time from this weekend of 3:57. So apparently the future of American distance running is bright when you have 2 18/early 19-year-olds running 3:50 something at this point before they've ever even really cracked into crazy international competition. And then the 2 other Newberry Park dudes ran like 7:58 and like 8:01 in the 3K. So exactly what we expected them to do. They're gonna have like 3 people sub 8:35 in the 2 mile and potentially sub 4:01, if not sub 4 in the mile. It's absurd. High schoolers, they're on one. So that was pretty much it. That's all we really need to talk about. We got a whole host of indoor nationals and worlds coming up the next couple of months, but we'll cross that bridge when we have to, because Black Canyon taking all of our focus this week. Next week, we're going to talk about Jackpot and the USATF 100-mile championships, and then things are going to blow up from there. We got one more golden ticket opportunity from there. We got indoors going into outdoors. We got college going off. It's going to be It'll be absolute mayhem. If you're a running fan, you're going to have all sorts of content and races and videos to watch. And we're going to be here to break it all down for you and save you the hours and hours of screen time so that you know what's important, what's not, and how to stay on top of it all. That's all I got, man. You got anything to close us out?
Let's see here. I mean, there's a handful of ultra races going on this weekend. We had a Jed Smith 50K where we saw Beverly Anderson Abs with another win there in 6:37, which was just 4 minutes off of the men's winning time. Does not surprise me at all.
Nope.
I think she's 57 now, 56 or 57. We also saw the Rocky Raccoon 100 in Texas, and Robert Landauer and Nicole Lofton were the winners there. So 14:50 winning time. Not a record, but that is definitely going to be probably one of the fastest hundreds of the year so far. Obviously early.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for your Captain Obvious statement. It will stand as one of the fastest hundreds
of the year.
Writ large of the year.
It will. It'll be somewhere in the top 30 times of the year. Elephant Mountain popped off for the third year, the 50 mile. We had Ryan Bahunin and Genia McKnight. Those are a couple newer names that I don't know about as of yet. So that's cool. And did we miss something else? Arufa, of course. We talked a little bit about that. The 24-hour, got to shout out Brian Colmo. He is the guy that made the new Hard Rock, designed the new Hard Rock start-finish line area.
Oh, word.
Yeah. And so he did 13 laps in 24 hours. Justine Hewitt did 11 laps in 24. And then, of course, we had Brian Curl, which we talked about, and Courtney did 8 and 7 laps. And then Grant Barnett came out in the 6 hour. There was a noon start. He was blazing. He did his first 2 laps in 2:20, which was very speedy. He was on track to do 5 laps in 6 hours, but he fell a little bit off pace. So he has the course record. It's 4 laps, but quite quick. So
yeah,
that's about it.
Sick.
So, yeah, I think basically it was a Black Canyon show when it comes down to it.
It
so
was literally in the title
of
the video on YouTube.
We'll have to recap it next week, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get into Black Canyon, what happened, just the mayhem that I'm sure will ensue, as well as preview Jackpot, and a whole host of other things happening in the running space. If you want to make sure that we're talking about something that we might have missed, make sure to comment below if you're on the YouTube video itself. Also, while you're here, hit that subscribe button and then hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button so you get notifications when we go live. And you can join us live in the chat like the great folks that did tonight were able to do. And also, hop in the Discord. It's in the description somewhere down there as well. And you can have this conversation with not just Jamil and myself, but also a whole host of other folks in the community about things that are happening in the space. And we have 2 dedicated servers or channels just for Black Canyon. So there's one for the live stream. You can chat with other people who are watching the live stream. You can keep tabs on things. All that happens in the Discord and more. So join the community, join the party, join the fun.
Woo.
I got nothing else. We're
That's
good?
it.
All right.
We're good.
He's been Jam. I've been Skizzle Fresh. This has been a podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a shitty week. Have a shitty weekend. And if you're at Black Canyon, take care of yourselves and have a good damn time.